Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy DICEM, aka Dice, Slice 'em, Dice 'em, Lil Dice, JF6, and let's get it. Today we're talking about Pumpkinhead, the OG version, going up against the one and only Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. So without further ado, let's get it. Now, the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers has remained the same in all films, excluding the most recent film, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. You could call the creeper a cannibal if you could consider it human, but it isn't. It's a being that some would consider a deity, others would consider a demon. Now, the creeper is said to be hundreds, if not 1,000 or more years old. It has an arsenal of amazing weapons, mystical weapons. It can use its mystical powers to fling knives through the air and retrieve them. He can also use his signature battle axe to decapitate and behead people with a single swing. This fucking SOB has shurikens made of human bone and flesh. He has many daggers and spears and swords and all types of different weapons, even explosives. The creeper feeds for 23 days, every 23 years. Now here's the thing, when he's in danger, when he senses danger, or when he's very, very angry and raging, he does this, where he unfolds the fan around his head, connected to the digits that come out from his face. You see those talons on those digits on his face open up into that thing. Now, there's all types of speculation about what the creeper actually is as a creature and a living being, if he's even a living, manifested physical being. And it is honestly anyone's best guess what the creeper actually is, but there's been hints throughout the years, and there's also been information in comic books and whatnot. But we get the idea that he is a supernatural, monstrous, almost demonic being that feeds on people and becomes what he eats. He is what he eats, like the famous saying goes. If he needs something in his body, he gets it in the form of the nutrients of who he kills and eats. He devours his victims, and those parts of those who he doesn't devour become warped into works of horrific art. The Creeper's appearance remains relatively the same through the first three movies, with only slight differences. The Creeper is stronger than 10 men, and he can fly, obviously, as well as regenerate. He can never be killed, only temporarily defeated. Now, Pumpkinhead is the demon of wrath and revenge. He is a daemon, a demonic force, an entity of vengeance and revenge. He's about 9 to 10 feet tall in the original film and able to use just about any object as a weapon for murder. He gets revenge on those that are marked for death, and he can survive just about any injury. He can regenerate as well as eat shotgun shots to the head and rifle shots to the face, shots through the eye, shots all through his body. He can withstand fire. Basically anything you would imagine would take this thing out won't. And as I said, he's resourceful and will use any weapon or tool to murder someone. Anyone who gets in his way will be killed, and he begins to take on the features of those who summoned him, or he who summoned him. Now, of course, Pumpkinhead is able to tear a human apart with his bare hands. He can climb, he can leap very far, he can run if he needs to, he can stomp ahead with one single stomp with one foot. He can absolutely shred people apart, massacre them. And here's the thing. His tail has a razor-sharp barb for impaling people, and his super strength is immeasurable to the average human. He's stronger than any man, and he also has remained relatively the same in design and appearance since the original film, though he is currently in the modern-day films slightly smaller, a little thicker, built differently overall. But he is still Pumpkinhead with the core attributes remaining. Now, let's get into the fight. The creeper flies out of the air and darts at Pumpkinhead. He flies directly into Pumpkinhead, picking him up off the ground right off the bat and slamming him down into the ground. And Pumpkinhead stabs his claws into the creeper viciously, ferociously, and then the creeper slams his face down into the dirt and drags him through the ground. And then he lifts him up way, way up in the air, high in the sky, and drops him down. He slams plummeting to the earth. The creeper then darts down out of the air and fucking slams right into Pumpkinhead as he's stabbed through the ribs with both claws and stabbed through the center of mass with Pumpkinhead's tail. He pulls his axe out and chops into Pumpkinhead's chest. He then goes to chop his head off as Pumpkinhead kicks him far through the air. He soars and slams, landing smack down on the ground, making a little crater in the ground as the ground beneath him cracks. He gets up, pops his bones back in place, cracking his bones. Pumpkinhead roars and charges towards the creeper. The creeper lifts his axe in the air and he throws it at Pumpkinhead. It impales Pumpkinhead in the chest as Pumpkinhead keeps charging forward. The creeper lifts up his spear, eyeing up Pumpkinhead from a distance. As he gets a little closer, he wails the spear through the air. It's cutting through the air, soaring as it goes directly towards Pumpkinhead and impales through his chest. Pumpkinhead grabs the axe, rips it out of his chest, and throws it back. It slashes, impaling into the creeper's chest, slicing through him. And as it's impaled in his chest, he yanks it out as Pumpkinhead then pulls the spear out of his chest and runs up to the creeper, stabbing him 3 times in quick succession through the chest before impaling him, lifting him off the ground, and whipping him through the air. He lands on the ground, crashing down as Pumpkinhead runs up and kicks him in the face under the jaw, causing him to go flying through the air and crashing into a tree, breaking it. He gets back up, standing tall, cracking his bones back into place as Pumpkinhead runs over to him. He brutally impales him, stabbing his claws into his chest, tearing through his bones, ripping his ribcage apart as he slashes his throat open. Creeper kicks him back. He goes flying, and the creeper runs up, throwing a dagger at his skull. He ducks it and grips the creeper up as he's stabbed in the throat with the dagger. And the creeper swings the axe, slicing Pumpkinhead across the face, nicking him as he backs up. The creeper's fan opens up around his head as he roars in Pumpkinhead's face as he's then bitten in the throat as his throat is torn apart, shredded open as Pumpkinhead grips up the back of his skull with one hand and bites through his spine, crushing the spinal column and tearing his head off. Winner, Pumpkinhead. Happy Halloween, y'all. DICEM I'm Outtie.